So, you want to 3D print in resin? You bought a cheap printer, a Mars, a Photon. You want to level your build plate. Not a problem. Damn it, I quit. Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about why it's so difficult to level the build plate on the Anycubic Photon or any other ball and socket type build plate. Because of the design of the ball and socket joint, there is a slight air gap between the top of the ball and the screw which you tighten. This means that there's vertical play in the build plate, which can sometimes be quite a lot. As you lower the build plate against the screen, that gap is filled as the plate and ball are pushed upwards against the screen. At this point, you tighten the screw and one of two things can happen. A, you tighten conservatively, which at the time feels like enough, but as soon as you raise your build plate from the leveling paper and screen, the pressure will no longer be enough and it will go out of level. Slightly, but it will be enough to cause your print to fail. Scenario B is obviously when you tighten until your fingers bleed. This will stay tight, but as you do that, it will actually cause the screen and the Z-axis to flex slightly. Only slightly, but enough that when you raise the Z-axis again, your plate will no longer be level and your print will fail. The way that I've found around this is counterintuitive. It requires you to actually tighten the screw for your build plate. Obviously, you don't want it rock solid, but it should be stiff and not flopping around. From here, just follow the leveling instructions for your machine. In the case of the Photon, you press home, lower the Z-axis in increments of 0.1 millimeter until you can pull the paper out but cannot push it back in. Tighten, and then set Z equal to 0. I find that after this, it is a very good idea to raise the Z-axis by just a little bit and try to feel with a little piece of paper around all the corners to make sure that the drag is the same in all corners. If not, you will have to re-level. I find that my printer likes to level a little bit front low, so I tend to add an extra piece of paper at the front just to offset that ever so slightly. At this point, you're done! As long as there's a paper's width gap between the FEP and the build plate and you can pull it out without pushing it in, the height will be fine. I hope this helps. If it does, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing. It will help me grow the channel. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.